Hello, Arkansas. Hello, America. Hello, world. I'm Happy Caldwell, and I want to thank you for joining me for today's edition of Arkansas Live. And thank you for watching VTN, the Victory Television Network. We have special guests in the studio today, Jesse Turner and James Hill. And our topic is Pastors on Patrol. And you're going to see how this thing has grown. Just the last time that I was talking to Jesse about it. The 10 Commandments in the classroom. And you probably saw a news report here, a local news station featured them. And I said, wow, I want them to come back and we'll tell everybody else about it. And stay tuned. Arkansas Live starts right now. I really, even though only seen and talked to and interviewed Jesse a couple of times, I really love this brother, and I've gotten to have much respect for him for what he's doing. Let me read you just a little bit about this man. Civil rights pioneer, pastor of Elm Grove Baptist Church, longtime community advocate in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. He made history as the city's first black electrician on the Cotton Belt Railroad, has led efforts to advance voter registration, youth mentorship, public safety through initiatives like Pastors on Patrol, honored by Congress and 4 U.S. presidents. Reverend Turner has spent over 60 years championing justice, education, and faith-driven change. His unwavering commitment continues to shape lives across Arkansas and beyond. Oh man, Jesse, thank you. If you were to go to heaven tomorrow, you'd have a great epitaph, and I'm sure they'd welcome you with open arms. You get rewarded at the judgment seat of Christ for everything you've done in the body. That's a great blessing.
Yeah. Well, we give God all the praise.
Yeah.
Everything that we have been able to accomplish, Pastor, it's through the help of the Lord, the Holy Spirit. And I just move when it tells me to move, and I've been able to, God has been able to position me in places that I was able to make a difference, and I'm just happy about that. And we're glad to be here today.
Well,
glad
good.
to be on the program again with you. I brought a young man here with me that's working alongside of me, doing our Pastors on Patrol in the schools. So he's there and helping out. So,
Good.
so
James, good to have you here. You're part of campus clergy,
Yes, sir.
and you live in Pine Bluff?
Yes, sir.
Good. How long you lived there?
I've lived there all my life. For next month be 45 years.
Wow.
August the 15th.
You lived there longer than I did.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm so happy that this is going on in Pine Bluff. That was my alma mater, and I still got a lot of friends that live there, the ones that are still alive, that still live there. And but what I want you to say to the audience today, and let's talk about the 10 Commandments Project.
Okay.
And for those of you that don't know, when we talk about campus clergy and pastors on patrol, we're talking about hands-on intervention in the schools in Pine Bluff. These gentlemen can minister to the kids better than you and I can, and they're there. They're available for mentoring, for prayer, for whatever. So that's what they're doing. And now, this 10 Commandments Project, explain just a little bit about this, Jesse. What inspired your team to begin posting the commandments in local schools?
Well, the thing that inspired us was I've been in the schools since 1998 as a mentor and teaching the kids how to behave and how to reject bullying and things of that. And so when 2017, the state passed the national motto, asked that it be in the schools as well. So we took the national motto and we placed it into classrooms, administration places, wherever we could. We put them up. Mm-hmm. About 70-80% of the schools in Pine Bluff, Watson Chapel, and a few in Friendship are there now. And so once the 10 Commandments was passed, and they said these can go into the schools as well. That's when we began to say, hey, he mentioned it. I said, well, okay, let's try that. And so now we are getting ready to put those in the schools because we realize that God had been locked out, so to speak.
Yeah.
And now we're putting him back in. In God we trust. You can see it anywhere. And now we're getting ready to place those 10 Commandments into the schools. I think they're going to, well, I know they'll do a word in terms of getting them to think about what does that mean? What
Yeah.
does that mean? And it gives us a chance. We don't go in and say, well, let's have a class today on 10 Commandments. You know, the opportunity always comes. God always opens that door so that we can get a chance to talk to those kids about life, really.
Yeah. So is it going to be in the classroom? Is it going to be on the wall? Is it going to be, how are you going to, when you say put the 10 Commandments in the schools?
Right. They're going to be in a conspicuous place in the classroom.
Okay.
We're going to get them in the administrative offices. So that's where they'll be. They'll be specifically in the classroom in a very visible location where the kids can see them.
Make sure you get one in the principal's office. I got sent to the principal's office one time. I went to school in Pine Bluff. It'd have been good if I could have walked in the principal's office and seen those 10 Commandments on the wall. I think that's awesome. James, what's going on in your thinking about the progress that's been made in this campus clergy ministry?
I just give God the glory because His word, it haven't came back void yet.
There you go.
We just been on the campus just doing God's will, praying, interceding, praying for the student and student-led, and we just being available. I believe that if we continue on as pastors on patrol and other pastors come along, that we can destroy the yoke with God's word. And the 10 Commandments are going to let the kids know that you're supposed to be living by these commandments.
Yeah. Wow. What about these other pastors? Now, you mentioned other pastors. What about this? Has any other group grabbed hold of this?
Well, right now we're working in Pine Bluff and Whitehall. We have 2 cities now. We started out with one city, now with Pine Bluff. Now we have Whitehall. The pastors there have came along and they said we want to help. And some of them are part of Pastors on Patrol. We have them in Jefferson County. And so the other pastors are willing to do this. And so this is God's word, and this is what we're putting out because, as it said, that word will break that yoke that's tying folk down. So we want to do this with the other pastors. We want other groups, lay people. Don't have to be a pastor. You can be a lay person. If they want to participate, they can. Right now, we're working with a number of organizations that's helping us, that's providing services for us. Arkansas Printing is helping us. Also, we're working with the National Association of Christian Lawmakers through Tony Rose. She's with us. The American History and Heritage Foundation is also working with us through Tony Rose. So there are others who are helping, and I believe as we plant the seed here in Pine Bluff, the other 74 counties will come along and join as well. The National Day of Prayer leader, Dr. Arthur Hunt, he's on board with us, and he is trying to collect those other 74. Pine Bluff is the first. Pine Bluff is the only city that's in this state that have put up the mottos in the schools, and we are the only ones starting out to put up the 10 Commandments in the school, because the 10 Commandments can meet some of the needs that the school requires. They have what we call PBIS, Positive Behavior Intervention Strategy. They have ESSA, ESL, emotional social learning. They have ESSA, every child can succeed. And so we look at that as positive behavior intervention. It's something positive we can say to the students to encourage them to that they can make it, that they can do things, because our students, and I'm sure it's like this everywhere, students are not like they was when you and I were smaller. These students today have a number of social problems that they need to deal with.
Yeah.
So we can intervene and give a strategy to help them. We can encourage them to succeed. And we know there are emotional things that they will face in this life. And so we're there to counsel, to pray, and to encourage. And I think we tie those things together and we can make things better. You know, we have, last time I told you, Watson Chapel reduced negative behavior by 33%. Last year in 2024, we led a anti-bullying campaign. We call it From Nonviolence to No Violence. And we had kids to do a survey, tell us how often are they bullied, are you a bully, and just little questions. Yeah. And Superintendent Barberé just came out about a month ago and said at 34, and 34 is where we kind of highlighted, but we worked in Watson Chapel and Pine Bluff elementary schools. And she said at 34, referrals, negative behavior, were down 75% from 34. So it shows you that those kind of programs help. But more important, I think when the students see pastors, ministers on campus, it changes everything.
Yeah.
And they're glad to see us there.
Now, when you go on campus, do you dress like you are now with the red vests so people know who you are, the students know who you are?
Yes, that's one of the requirements is becoming a pastor on patrol, that the vest be one of the main tools that we use to identify ourselves as pastors.
Okay. Why wouldn't every school in Arkansas want to do this? I mean, there really shouldn't be any pushback. This is good for everybody, for students, for the school, for law enforcement, for parents, for the kids themselves. How do you get somebody on board?
Well, one of the things that we're going to do, we're having I want to say a conference on the 28th of July. It'll be at the Donald W. Reynolds Community Service Center. And of course, I'll leave a website that they can go online and register. And we want to take our template and we want to educate them as to how we got into schools and what we're doing in the schools. So that's going to be something that we're going to do on the 28th. The National Day of Prayer is leading that. We're concerned with Pine Bluff, Jefferson County. The National Day of Prayer is trying to do the other 74 counties. So we want to explain to them exactly how we do it, what is our protocol when we go to schools.
Do we have that information that we can put up on the screen for them? This is the website for those of you that are interested. Go on this, PBICV, RPEN, that's penorpencil.com is what it is, rather than trying to spell it out. The email is pbicvr@aol.com. And I would encourage you to go online, find out. The phone number is 870-730-1131. Mailing address, attention, PBICVR, Donald W. Reynolds Community Service Center, P.O. Box 9257. Write that down, 9257, Pine Bluff, Arkansas, 71611. And, attention to Jesse Turner, or if you want to call or write and say, we want to get involved in this. We want to help it financially. We want to help it in our school, in our county. Boy, it's a win-win situation, folks, and there's nobody else doing this. I remember when I encountered my first bully in school, and I went home and told my daddy, of course he could see by the blood and all the what on my face. And he said, "Son, are you tired of being bullied?" I said, "Yes, sir, but I don't know what to do about it. He's twice my size." And my daddy he said, "Well, you get a club about this size. You whack him upside the head." I shouldn't say that on there, but that is not the way to handle a bully.
Yeah.
But that's the way I was told to do it. And in my case, it worked. He never bothered me again. But that's not the solution to it. That's what we're trying to avoid, right?
Right.
We're trying to avoid that. And if you're trained properly, man, what a difference that would make in our evening news. What a difference it'd make on the campus, at homes. And I imagine parents are pleased.
Yeah, parents are pleased. We are through the Woodson Center, which is one of our supporters, along with the National Alliance of Faith and Justice. But through the Woodson Center, we are setting up what we call a API, and that stands for At Promise Institute. And we're wanting to work with those kids who give you a lot of trouble and stuff like that. Some people call them at risk. We don't call them at risk. We call them at promise.
At promise.
Because in each one of those students, there is promise in them.
That's right.
But you have to pull it out. And so what we're trying to do is work with our legislators, work with doctors and community people, United Way of Southeast Arkansas, to develop this plan that would help parents. We want to improve scholarship and citizenship with that student. So when a student comes in with problems, we want to get with counselor and the parents and talk to that child. But then we want to provide wraparound services for that child, and also to help the parent. Because sometimes parents can't do the math.
Right.
They don't know how to do it because it's kind of different from what we did. You know, when 2 + 2 was 4. But now, you got. But anyway, we want to work with the parents, and if whatever they need, we want to provide that. But also, we're trying to work with a legislator. So if a parent is receiving a service from the state, by them attending some classes and learning more about how to do, not how to teach them how to parent, but to do the homework and add some of those things as well, then we want them to be able to get either 1% or 0.5%. We want to try to increase that service if we can, so that the parent will have an incentive to come to these classes to help their child, which will make it a win-win situation.
Well, that ought to be mandatory. I don't know how you would enforce it, but you need to get those parents there.
Yeah, because that's it. I mean, we can teach them, and we're doing a fairly good job because the data is showing that. But when they go back home, we can't tell who they're going back home to.
And that's where most, at an early age, that's where most all of these things are formed or not formed, is in the family. The family's not reinforcing or initiating any of this stuff.
Right.
So, do you have information about the date that he gave? What was it when you're going to have your?
The date is July 28th.
July 28th. If you don't have that to put up on the screen, then put the information back, the contact information, and because that July 28th, that's not far away.
Yeah, right around the corner.
Right around the corner.
So, the penandpencil.com website, the email is tbicvr@aol.com. Phone number 870-730-1131. Mailing address, attention, PBICVR, Donald W. Reynolds, Community Service Center, P.O. Box 9257, Pine Bluff, Arkansas 71611. And I would encourage those of you that are watching in other counties, other schools, give them a call, sign on, go online and find out. They'd be happy to come and share with you what they've done in their schools. Because, I know when Senator Jason Rapert and the organization that he founded tried to get the Ten Commandments on the, well, actually the Ten Commandments that's on the state capitol was initiated by the legislature.
Right.
So that's why nobody else can come in, and like the Satanist church wanted to come and put up their monument and said, no, it has to be initiated by the state legislature. And a lot of people don't realize that. But when he started that, he got all kinds of pushback from people. And, you know, some crazy guy came and ran over it with his car and tried to destroy it, but it was put back up.
Yeah.
And we're one of the few states that has 10 Commandments on our state capitol grounds.
When we were pushing this out from Pine Bluff, I had a reporter to come up to me and ask me, he said, well, what about Satanists? What about some other organization? What if they come forward and want something? My answer to that was, if they want to do it, they got to go through the process.
Right.
And if they go through the process and the state approves it, then, I mean, I'm not pushing back on it, but I don't see a legislator who's going to push something through like that. No. But I think when people say, well, I can't do it because somebody else might want it, we are to defend the faith.
That's right.
We are not to decide what someone else does.
That's
and this is why we serve the Lord. We stand for what we know is right, what Christ told us to do, stand and continue to stand. And that's what we are trying to do in Pine Bluff. And like you said, I just hope the rest of the state join in, because we didn't have the violence, the bullying, the disrespect when we were younger. That's because God was in the classroom and in us. So, you know, I just kind of push that. You know, that's what we're trying to do.
And when I was in church, Jesse, on Sunday morning with my grandmother sitting beside me, and I would act up, she would reach over and pinch the fire out of me. And she said, be still, behave. And I couldn't figure that out, because if she wanted me to behave, she just don't need to pinch me, because I'm going to jump. But we were trained differently. Yeah. But we were instilled with those 10 Commandments. Right. The way we're supposed to live, the moral compass was promoted. And when I went to school, you know, I only got an academic grade, but you got a citizenship grade. And I think the way ours read was citizenship. It was just satisfactory or unsatisfactory. It was S or U. And when I go home and give my report card to my father, I would get a whooping. Now, whooping's worse than a whipping. Yeah. Whooping. Yeah. I would get a whooping more for an unsatisfactory citizenship mark than I would be for a low grade. Because he, in his mind, the character and moral and honesty and all that was greater. Yes. And I see no ill effects, no negative to this at all. I see it's all positive, and it's going to do nothing but you city council members, mayors, business people in your counties, Pine Bluff and other cities. If you want to change your city, if you want to change the atmosphere of your cities, this is one of the best ways that I have ever seen, because you're dealing with the kids in their formative years. They're still being formed. So, you know, don't complain about all the bad stuff that you see on the news every night. Get involved in this program. Support this program.
Well, I want to just say thank you for allowing us to come and share on this station. You all do a great job, and I just appreciate all that you all do for the city and for the state. So just thank you for letting us come.
This work Jesse and James are doing is so important. I want to put that contact information up on the screen one more time. Write it down, the website. PBICVR pen or pencil.com. It's fairly easy. Email pbicvr@aol.com. And phone number is 870-730-1131. The mailing address, attention, PBICVR, Donald W. Reynolds Community Service Center, P.O. Box 9257, Pine Bluff, Arkansas 71611. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Arkansas Live. And don't forget, Jesus is Lord over Arkansas and wherever you're watching, too.
Send your questions, comments, and testimonies to Happy Caldwell at Post Office Box 26207, Little Rock, Arkansas 72221, or email happycaldwell@vtntv.com. Remember to follow VTN on Facebook at VTN Your Arkansas Christian Connection, and follow Happy Caldwell on X at Happy_Caldwell. VTN is on Roku. Search VTN in the channel store and add us to your lineup. Today's episode is available to watch on demand at VTNTV.com and click Watch. You can also watch VTN via live stream at VTNTV.com.